Welcome to CEO Money. I'm Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. I've got Bruce Wuollet, owner of Bakerson LLC, on the show with us today. Bruce, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Michael. It's my pleasure to be here.
All right, now you work in multifamily workforce apartments. Talk to me about this.
Yeah, our focus is the permanent renter workforce apartment, and it's also called C-class if you're in the industry, C-class apartments. And they're places where people want to live in dignity. Our focus is the permanent renter, those who will never own a home but would like to live in one. And our current focus is Tucson, and we're buying properties that are underperforming or non-performing and repositioning them. We're not afraid to vacate the properties, reposition them, and then fill them back up. One example, the biggest one we've done in that way was 74 units. We brought it down to 17 occupied, and now we're in the mid-60s occupied, and it's stabilized, and we're in the stabilization phase of that. So we're not afraid of the heavy lifting, and we like to kick out the slumlords and those that mistreat the community and the residents as well as the owners, and take those projects over and really make an impact on the community.
Good, and you've coined a new phrase for that. Instead of apartments, you're in the business of what? Togethernment.
And that, yeah, it's a fun phrase. It's kind of quirky and corny, but togethernment to us is uniting. The word apartment is dividing, and togethernment is uniting. So we say we're in the togethernment business, and we're creating communities out of apartments.
Now, tell me about the syndications and the renting of money. I mean, you've got that as one of our things that we should talk about today.
Okay, when we buy our properties, we do them in syndications. We get private debt because we're buying non-performing and underperforming assets. Banks don't like them. Fannie and Freddie, they don't qualify. They might be 40 to 50% vacant at purchase. And so we work with local and regional lenders with the debt, and then we raise equity through syndicators or through syndication. We are the syndicator. So we've coined a phrase that we rent money. And the very simple example is if you rent a car, they give you an asset, a car, you use it, you give it back with payment. If you rent a house, you use the house and you give it back with payment. And the same thing with tenant at an office. So we rent money. They give us money, we use it, we give it back with interest or return on investment. But it's a standard syndication. We just like to set ourselves different, that we're renting their money and we're giving them a very favorable return based on the quality and the return of the asset.
Why is Bakerson focused on the residences?
In business, we all know that the customer is all businesses have a customer. Like if you go to a retail store, the customer is the person that comes and buys the product, the consumer. And so for us, without residents, we have no capital. So they are the customer. Ultimately, people say, well, the investor is the customer, but why are we paying them? You don't pay a customer, the customer pays you. So in that model, a business model, really, we are the investor's customer. They're giving us money, and then we're giving a return for them. They're giving us a service or a product, so we're actually the customer. And many people treat the investors as a customer, and I treat them as a partner, and also as somebody that we're renting money from, if you will, where the residents are the ones that ultimately pay your bills. And if you treat them right, they take care of the community takes care of Bakerson takes care of me. So the focus has always been on the residents. Or if I focus on Bruce, I can take care of me, that's fine, but you can leave a trail of destruction behind you if you're too self-centered on yourself. So I realize that if I take care of the residents, they take care of the community takes care of the business takes care of me, the circle is complete.
Got it. In your model, are you going to stay where you are, or is there some other markets you're looking to penetrate?
There's two different market shifts we're looking to do. We currently do workforce, and we'd like to get into Class B and a little bit nicer, larger communities. Right now, the market's pretty heavily picked over. Probably the most competitive market is B right now. So we're on pause with that. But what we'd like to do is take our show or our company to other Southwest cities. And we're looking at places in Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Nevada. And the reason we like the Southwest is what we know. So we're very familiar with the Hispanic market and the culture and Latino, and we're very comfortable with the temperatures. I grew up in the Midwest. I would not be very good at owning properties in Minnesota without having a partner on the team that knows what happens, because it's a different purchase. If you buy a property there in the summer and pipes aren't properly insulated, you have pipe bursts, which happened in the record cold in Indiana. We know people that had pipes freeze and had hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage done because they weren't prepared for it. I know the Southwest, I know the Sun States, I'm really, really comfortable here. I wouldn't, so anything in the South, even we've looked at things in Alabama and we looked at things in Florida, but so far we've been very hyper-focused in Phoenix and Tucson because there's enough of a market here, but we will pursue those other ones.
Looking at it from an investor's perspective, the ROIs that you are able to return to the investors, I suspect that they're stable for the most part because of the way your business model is focused on the customer, the people who are the residents. Going forward, do you see, without getting yourself in trouble, and don't do that, but is there an average range of ROI that people can expect by investing with you in the expansion of Bakerson LLC?
Yeah, well, historically, it's been in the double digits. It's been over 10. 14 to 18 is not uncommon. We've done higher than that on some of them. But of course, there's no guarantees. But historically, in our apartments, we've done very well.
That's what I wanted to find out, so that people can get an idea of what, because we have people that watch from all walks of life, whether it's a family office or it's an individual investor that comes here looking for some stability in their investments. So right now, the stock market, Europe, they're a little shaky, and
yes.
that's one of the things that I wanted to bring out. You were going to say something, Bruce?
Oh yeah, just real quick on the. We do really heavy turns, so the investors that we have been attracting are those that are willing to wait the 18 months before there's any dividends or any payments or any capital coming out, and we've typically done that on a sale. On the ones that we buy and hold, we'll have those discussions on how we can turn those from a buy and fix and sell to buy, fix, and hold. But the first 12 months in our project, since we buy very rough run properties, there's no income. So there is that element of risk during that period that there's not income coming in, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. We have a track record to show that. Got it.
How long have you guys been in business?
I've been in business for 16 years. Started out wholesaling houses 2003 and 3 through 7. Then we had that market bump. I think it was a Great Recession, as we call it now, that really bit us hard, and we were heavily into some land and some other things. So we got some bruises. Basically restarted our business 2012, and then in 2013, 14, we got into a multifamily in the fix and sell. We had wholesaled probably 25, 30 apartment buildings over the course of the years, a motel in Tempe we wholesaled. But then we said, hey, we see what the money they're making. We can do that. So we started fixing and selling apartments, and I don't have the total number of units, but it's over 1,000 that we've done in the buy, fix, and sell in the last 5 years. So.
Great. All right, Bruce, it's been a pleasure having you on the show with us today. I really wish you all the best, and I'm sure that you'll be able to come back and give us some great success stories.
Hey, I look forward to it, and I really appreciate your time, Michael. I've heard a lot of good things about you and your program, and it's fun to be here, and I'm glad I could be part of it.
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. All right, you've been watching CEO Money with Michael Yorba. Thanks for joining with us. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel.